What's up, Lord? I just ate some Icon Meals protein popcorn before I come out here to record this video. Look at the sunset. Alright, this is me, Truth Hurts podcast, but it needs to be said. So I just left the Tennessee State Championship. Great show. Everyone looked beautiful. Everybody did amazing. The thing I want to talk about today is the sport of bodybuilding. I'll just start with that. The sport of bodybuilding is a individual sport, and it's all of it is so there is criteria for every division, and because there's not it's just there's so many different variables that go into whether you win first, second, third, fourth, fifth, it don't matter. So many different variables. Not only does your body and your physique, and we're not even talking genetics, we're not even talking about where you are hormonally, metabolically. Let's just say you have muscle. There's a good chance you don't have the right muscle, or maybe you got too much of some here. It's just, so that's one part. And that alone is what you work on, right? But the things that you cannot work on are the other people showing up to the shows, how lean or not lean they are. You cannot control the judges. You cannot control anything outside, even like on the show, on the week of your show. There's only so much that you can control. So the video is just, I'm not really worried about the quality of video. I just want you to get the message across. So because there's so many different variables, the expectations that you put on yourself have to be realistic, or you're not going to be happy, have fun. You're not going to be proud. You're not going to be anything but discouraged. And you can tell before you even get on stage if you're going to be discouraged, because by your expectations. So what are your expectations? Well, let me tell you, if it's your first season or fifth season, it could be your 15th show. Your expectations need to be only based on the effort that you know you applied. Not the effort that should have been applied, not the effort that, what effort did you apply? And this, again, this is far beyond just the building, in the gym and in the kitchen. This is, it can come down to, this is just an example that happens a lot. A girl hires a coach, starts prep, figures out, 4 weeks later or 4 weeks out from a show, this ain't her coach for whatever reason. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So they switch coaches. Hopefully they made that decision to switch coaches, because that's a very, very important role in this, and your expectations, but in this sport in general, who your coach is. You have a coach. Okay, let me keep on the same track. So the variable of getting a coach, starting prep, switching coaches because of whatever reason, like that has to take your expectations and make them, all right, so, because you don't know what you don't know, right? So you didn't know that you were going to switch coaches. You didn't think that you would, obviously, or you wouldn't have signed up with them. So for you to go through that, and probably, this is just from experience, change a lot of things, whether it be your posing, likely your diet, definitely your mindset. All of that has to change, or you wouldn't have switched coaches in the first place. So your expectations, and here's another just thing with expectations. I'm not saying lower your expectations, and I'm saying make sure that your expectations are only based on you and the decisions that you have made since the day you decided this is what you wanted to do. That'd probably be a wrap it up, some of what I'm trying to say. Because your expectations can only be about what you know right now. And because what you don't know, right? So a lot of they set these expectations that are just, and it could be like I said earlier, 15th show, but if you have not literally done, if every single piece was not right, was not perfect, then don't expect to be first place, not because you didn't put the effort in, but because simply you just don't even know who's showing up and who the judges are going to be. And then that goes into the worth. Let's just say you don't set your expectations right? Your expectations are, this is my 10th show. I expect myself, and I've done everything, let's just say, and I expect myself to win, and then you go and you don't win. So you're discouraged by your own expectations. Then I want you to ask, who are these people that are judging me, and why am I letting them dictate how I feel about myself? Let's just say you did everything right. Like, you did everything right. So if I got on stage, when I get on stage, I know it don't matter. Okay, I should probably say this in the first. I've competed 6 times. The only shows that I've won are the shows that, one, I've never won overall. I've never placed higher than, I think, 3rd, outside of classes that didn't have a clear as day winner, and there was likely 2 of us. So I don't even know if that helps you at all, like if that means anything to you. But my placement does nothing. Winning first doesn't do anything for you in general except stroke your ego. And so but the biggest thing is, it just takes the fun out of it. Like, don't you want to have fun? Don't you want to be proud? Don't you want to stand on stage and show off what you've been working so hard to do? Okay, if you want to, then do it. And don't let anybody else, definitely don't let a coach tell you anything. Like, and I say that because, and so going back to the coaches thing real quick, I'm kind of all over the place. It's okay though. Your coach is important. It's very important to your mental health. A coach should never tell you just do it, or just take it, or just do anything. You should never, if they cannot explain it, it's because they don't know it. So let that be a red flag. If a coach makes you feel small in any way, shape, or form, that is not your coach. A coach does not do that. A coach does not belittle you. A coach does not make you feel stupid. A coach does not make you feel like there's secrets. There ain't no secrets. It's all the same thing. We all doing the same thing. Some of us just not doing it right. You want to know if you're not doing it right, so you can get somebody that does do it right? Too many times, that alone. So when you're setting your expectations for yourself going into a show, I want you to first look at your efforts, right? Have I done everything that I could do, given my life, everything that's going on? That goes back to decision making. Did I make the right decision based on the ultimate outcome that I want, right? I've had clients I had one client lose her husband the week of her show. I've had clients lose their dog, lose their job. Like, life is life, and it ain't gonna stop. It ain't gonna stop lifing, okay? And guess what? All of them still showed up for themselves, and only because I didn't let them go there being not where they wanted to be, right? Because that only would make everything worse. If they lost, let's just say, my client that lost her husband, and this is very, very accident. If she would have done that early in the week, then gave up on herself, did not show up for herself, the rest of the week, did we have some training days that we took off? Yeah, we did. We have a lot of different food, different decisions being made. Yeah, we sure did. We had to. I mean, that was life. But did we not do what we set out to do 6 months before? No, we still showed up ourselves. And then the next day after we showed up, we took that one day to ourselves to not think about anything that's going on bad, only focusing on what she could control. Guess what? Sunday when she woke up, the nightmare that she was living before Saturday, it was still there. And guess what? What was not there was the fact that she was so proud of herself on Sunday when she woke up that it made it a little bit better. There ain't much that can make that better, but it made it a little bit better. Just the fact that she showed up for herself when everything in the world was telling her not to. I might get emotional just talking about it because I feel her heart, obviously. So your expectations for yourself have to be based on the reality of your decision making, where it has been for the last however many months. To me, in my mind, when you make the first initial decision to compete, all the decisions that you make moving forward need to align with that. And that does not mean you're perfectly tracking macros every day, or you're every day getting everything perfect. That is not at all what I'm saying. There was plenty of times in my prep with my husband when we had two like very, very spur of the moment dinners that with family that I'm not willing to miss that. It has nothing to do with not being disciplined. It has everything to do with I don't get to see my sister a lot. So I'm going to go have dinner with her where she wants to go when she randomly comes home that I didn't know about, right? Because again, life don't stop. She gonna fly in, she gonna surprise me, and I'm gonna be like, yes, my cousin's wedding 2 weeks before my show had the best night of my life. So your expectations are based on your decisions that you make. If your decisions don't align with your ultimate goal, that's where we got to work on, right? So that's one. The discouragement is what I'm talking about. When I'm looking at these, totally, I was at a show one time, and this girl, her coach was there, and her coach is one of the, if not the most well-known coaches in the bikini world. Not gonna say no names, but you probably know him. And she got second. This was a pro show. She got second place. And she comes off stage, and me and Kara just like lighten up. Like we're like, oh my God, you're amazing. Blah, 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 blah. There's all kind of like hyping her up because second place, third place, even fourth, fifth, sixth, they all. But we're gonna keep this short. Hyping her up. And her coach was standing right there. And literally, he said, that's not what we came for. I like literally stopped dead in my tracks. And I looked at him and I said, who are you? Like, what? And Kara was taken back too. I didn't know him, so I don't really give a shit what anybody thinks about me, but she didn't say nothing, but she was taken back and she kind of looked at me and I was like, who does he think he is? Like, so if you have anyone in your life, definitely a coach that says anything remotely close to that, run the other way. Run the other way. And, some people are like, oh, and you think everybody gets a trophy, everybody gets well, in this sport, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, especially at a NPC regional show. If you showed up on an NPC regional show stage first time or 50th time, yeah, I think you should get a trophy. I sure do, because you still 0.5% until you get to a Olympia, even the pros. Jesus, like, why would you? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a judge or nothing. I just judge the criteria, and that's all I study. But for the most part, if you see yourself every day, your coach sees you every day, every week, whatever it is, you know what place you're going to get even though you don't really know who's going to show up, you know. But let's just be real. And especially in the bikini world, fit model world, I'm excited about this world. Bikini. Girls, if they tell you you need to build your glutes, which literally is going to be every single girl until you stop stop competing. But that's going to be the feedback, let's just say. Even if they say you need to grow your shoulders, if you don't take 12 months, if not longer, to eat intentionally, don't just go in and you're not in no off season, you're in a building season, girl. You got intention. And if you don't, then when you get back into prep, don't expect much. That's just is what it is. You cannot expect yourself to have built the exact muscle. That's what it is. Bodybuilding is a sculpting, perfectionist sport, right? So if you did not do it all, your building season, if you didn't do that with intention, then I'm not saying don't compete. I'm just saying be real with yourself and be proud that you're even going through the whole process anyway, with knowing that you're not going to be perfect. Like the beauty about confidence and just the sport in general, but it's not even the sport because most girls don't have this mindset. But you're chasing perfection, and girl, you ain't never gonna get it. You ain't never gonna be perfect. Never. If you can comprehend what I just said, your whole competition journey will change because you'll actually have fun. You'll enjoy it. You'll love the feedback. You know, I was talking to one of my clients the other day. My shows are not the end of prep. And that's a whole nother thing. I don't never start prep. I never end prep. I never start my reverse. I never end my reverse. I just keep flowing through life. And based on the outcome that we want, everything gets adjusted. My steps, my food, training, I just literally lost my train of thought. The expectations. Expectations of perfection. So my show day is day one. That's the beginning of the next season, because that's what I've been working 2 years to get what you about to feedback. I'm gonna get your feedback, and then I'm gonna go work again for 2 years with intention. And I still hadn't become pro. So just be real with yourself so that you can enjoy it. That's all I'm trying to say. Otherwise, you're gonna beat yourself up so much. And then on top of that, if you don't have that control and you don't have that mindset, you hire a coach that doesn't help. Like my girls, when they're discouraged, they ain't gonna be discouraged alone. Let me tell you, because I'm gonna be clear as day, and I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you you're lean enough when you're not. I'll never lie. I'm gonna be as honest. I'm probably the most honest person you'll ever meet. Definitely the most honest coach you'll ever meet. But I'm also gonna remind you about all the shit that's happened over the last 6 months. All the decisions that you had to make, that whether they were random or they spur of the moment. I have one girl, she's 9 weeks out, and they just happened to, their house was not for sale, but an opportunity presents itself for her whole family to move into their forever home. Was they looking? Not at all. But was this opportunity something we ain't gonna pass up? Yes. And so for me, as a coach, whether you compete or not, my number one goal, my number one focus is I teach you how to make good decisions based on what life is presenting to you at the moment that is best for you and your future. And if you got a family, your future and your future family. Not instant like there. So it would have not been a good decision for her to pass up the opportunity to buy her family's dream home because she's 9 weeks out, because of all the things that come along with buying a house. Now you got 2 houses. Now you got to sell this house, which that was not on your radar at all, right? So when my girls get discouraged, my first thing is I'm going to remind you of all the things that led us to this point, because we made good decisions. And where we did not make good decisions, we already know it, because we talk about that every single week in our check-ins. We talk about all the decisions that you made this week. What were the good ones? What were the not good ones? What we're going to do next time if we're presented with this. And so those, your expectations of yourself. And I don't like the words "give yourself grace." Just be real with yourself. If it's your first season, you don't know a lot of things. It's your second season. My first season is 2021. It's 2025. And I still got off nationals at junior nationals, 14th place. I'm happy as can be. You can't wipe a smile off my face, because I couldn't have done nothing better. And so in this sport, again, I can hear it now, all these coaches that are just egotistical, which is what it is. If you're coach, like that story I told you earlier, it's because of his ego. Shut up. You damn sure don't look like nothing. So anyway, when you start looking at listening to people that are telling you how much you need to change, I want you to just take it lightly, right? Who are you listening to? Look at these people. Do they look like you? Do they even look good? Do they eat like you want to eat? They live like you want to live? If they don't, then just take their advice, but don't take it to heart. Like, take it and just put it in your little book of advice, and make sure you have your people that you have a good coach for you. And so I'll just run through that real quick. When you hire a coach, you hire your coach. So do your research. And I'm learning about different coaches. I'm a very different coach than every coach that I know in this bodybuilding world, and I know a lot of them. My coach, Dylan, is my coach. I've been with him for 6 years. That has to speak volumes of the importance of that loyalty, not only to yourself, but to one person. Because to relearn, it's just like a marriage. If you get married, and then something happens, somebody messes up, and then you gonna call it quits because one thing? You gonna call it quits because you're trying to save money? Like, that's fine. But that's a decision that needs to play a role in the expectations for next prep. When you get on stage and you're like, didn't build enough muscle. Well, because you made the decision to not continue coaching. Every decision matters. And it doesn't have to be, I'm not trying to say that you have to be, actually I am saying, you have to be intentional. You don't have to be perfect, but you got to be intentional every 365 days a year. And why would you not be? Like, why would you have a season, an off season? You off of what? What are you off of? The stage? Yeah, okay, good, because you cannot build on the stage. You cannot build in a deficit. You cannot build and do what they told you to come back and show off on. So that don't make sense. Why would you be discouraged? That's logic, right? So participation trophies, I don't call them that. I just call them the 0.5%. I don't even want to say 1% anymore at this point. The 1%. Yeah, everyone should get a trophy. The only people, even the girls that look like they just started prep yesterday, for you to get on stage, do you understand how much confidence it takes to get in a bikini on a stage in front of people that look like, I ain't hating on them, but most of the judges don't look like they even belong on a stage, and they probably, that's not me hating on them. That's just me being honest. So you're prancing around in a bikini in front of a 55-year-old man. Just be nice to yourself and be like, all right, well, this is what I came for. I came for this 55-year-old man to tell me what he thinks about my body. Not about what I think, not about what my coach thinks, not about what Jesus thinks, what he thinks. And to be honest with you, and we just went and got feedback from my client at this show. I don't ever, unless I know the male judges, again, I don't really care if you get offended, to be honest with you, but I don't go ask for their feedback. One, because I have before, And they didn't even respond. Like, I have done it through email, they didn't respond. So that's just unprofessional. So I asked the women only, to be honest with you, because there's a girl. They're a girl. They know, like, there's not really a reason except for I just like to talk to the girls. I guess I have been like, the guys have all said the same thing, and they all will say the same thing. The girls have told me different things. Even at the same show, a female judge will tell me something detailed, something that I can actionably work on, and the males will be like, you gotta grow your glutes. Like, I don't know that. Everybody knows that. That's everybody's feedback. So, but like the female that we just went to, specifically your upper glutes, specifically in your front pose, specifically in your hand, like your hamstring tie-in is good. It could be better, but let me show you how to make it better for 2 weeks, because you have a show in 2 weeks, right? So again, I don't care. Like, I'm not hating on the male judges. This is my experience. So, but all that to say, when you get off that stage, be proud. Be proud of yourself, because if you're not proud of yourself, then nobody can be proud of you. Literally. Nobody can be proud of you if you're not proud of yourself. Nobody can love you if you don't love yourself. All of that cliche things are cliche because they have been proven over and over and over again to be the truth. And you don't want to have to prove it to yourself to be true. You want to believe it. You want to believe and know I did everything I could do. From the moment I decided to prep, or to compete even, I did everything that I could in my power. I controlled everything I could. I let go of everything that I couldn't. And I'm proud. And no matter what placement that you get, when you're in that mindset, will be the best day of your life. And I'm not saying that to, like, in my mind, a participation trophy, yeah, if we're playing softball and there's a lot of people that play into us losing or winning, yeah, you get participation trophies. Maybe we don't have so many, you know? But this is a one-man sport. This is a one-man sport, and that one man not only has to build a physique that he does not have. He is not born with this physique. She is not, or he too, but she is not born with this physique. She ain't born with nothing that this sport requires except for a brain and a body. That's all you're born with. And then you got to do something with what you got. And so the decisions that you make when it comes to doing with what you have, that's all that it takes. That's the only thing, the only person that controls the outcome of this sport is you. So if you did not place like you want to place, because everybody wants to win, but here's the thing, if you win, then what? Then it's over, right? So my goal, I'm gonna chase second till forever, to be honest with you, because I don't really care. There ain't nothing that first place ain't doing different than second and third and fourth. And look, when I got all that stage at Junior Nationals, I think I was like 14th place. Again, you couldn't even like wipe a smile off my face, because I was more proud of myself on that day than I was my entire life. And I haven't even talked about that on social, as far as like all the life that happened to me that couple weeks. But let me just say, and I will never, until the worst day of my life happens, which is going to be the day that my parents pass away, the things that happened to me those 2 weeks before Junior Nationals was the worst thing that will ever happen to me in my whole life. I'm just trying to give you a level of pain, if you want to think of it like that my heart was in over those 2 weeks, and how focused I had to be on just finishing what I started, because that was all I could do. I could control nothing else. All I could control was my attitude, my actions, and then that's my thoughts. And that's all I did all day long. I didn't do nothing extra. So be proud. And if you're not proud, look back and see why you aren't proud. And maybe your coach wasn't right. Maybe you your food, whatever it was, your decisions. This is what it comes down to, your decisions. Well, how were they? If they were all good decisions, then you have no room to be discouraged. If you can say they were not all good decisions, all right, cool. Now we can start working on being better decision makers. Again, given life, right? This life is never going to be smooth, ever. That would be a boring life. So expect your expectations of life is that all I can do is control myself. That's it. That's your expectations of life. Everything else is out of your control. So if you set that life expectation, then you can set stage expectation based on that too. So, all right. My rant was over. My rant is over. I'm so proud of every single girl that got up on that stage today. I'm not just saying that. I don't just say things for nothing. I say things with intention, if you don't know. So, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if anything resonated with you on this video or podcast, whatever, however I'm going to post this, probably all of it, message me or comment below or anything. I'm here to help guide you in a direction that I'm going myself. So it's not like I'm trying to do anything sketch. This is the direction that I'm going, and I'm trying to help you get here, and we can go together. So I'm excited. My next show is Anaheim. That's the Anaheim Fit Show. I'm pretty sure there's a bodybuilding show there. I think Paige told me. And then National Fit Show, and I'm really excited. I have clients in that show. That's an all-woman show. I really enjoy that show. So yeah, I'm very pumped. I'm very excited, and I hope that wherever you are on your journey in this bodybuilding world, if you are not proud in this very moment, I want you to tell yourself out loud, moving forward, I am going to be proud of myself every day, and I'm going to take it one day at a time. Every single day I get my clients in their daily tracker, they have to note proud or not proud. It's very simple, very black and white. You're either proud of the decision that you made, or you're not proud. And not proud, if you put that, great. That's where you're going to grow. But the ultimate goal is to be proud and to stand by your decisions, whether it be a decision to what you put in your mouth, what you hear, what you watch, what you listen to, who you talk to, everything. Everything is a decision that you make every day. To push the alarm, to snooze the alarm, a decision. Think about all the decisions that you make all day long, and just literally start making one good decision at a time based on the ultimate outcome that you want. And if you start doing that one day at a time, you're going to reach goals that you hadn't even set yet, because you ain't even in the mental space to set it. So just focus on the decisions. Everything else will fall into place. Okay.